Bazinga. What's up, guys? Master of all things here, back at it again with another video. Today, we're talking about UFC fighters, the main card. This time, I'm not gonna lie, the early prelims and the prelims weren't exactly fighters where I was dying to make their next fight, just because most of them were unranked, and the other motherfuckers I was just gonna put in were other unranked people, and they weren't even good. One was light heavyweight. One was the middleweight, which was a they weren't even good fighters. So honestly, at that point, I don't think I'm even gonna do that. But I think uh, I think the early prelims and the prelims weren't good enough for me to be like, I want to see what their next fight next, or let me predict what their next fight is. You can do that. You could think about that. But I'm not gonna do it just because they're like most of them fighters aren't even that like they just had good matchups, like good comparable matchups with them. Like if it was like anyone else in the rankings, I think they would lose, honestly, in my opinion. But let's get started. UFC main card fighters, next fight. Let's go. For the first guy, Quillen Sakun. I don't know why I can't say his name. I don't know why, but I have two fights. Now, I know people would like to have him in the rankings already. I think, which is not off, honestly, in my opinion. I think people uh maybe BSD, Michael Chandler, maybe if you want Fiziev. I didn't put any of them. I think one more fight would solidify him, and these are fights literally right at the rankings, and they're both Ignacio Bahamondes. I think that's how you say the last name, and Grant Dotson. These two fighters were just kicked out of the top 15. Bahamondes was just at 15. I really don't know why they kicked him out. Jalen Turner was at number 15, but I'm guessing because he retired, he wasn't really a ranking. So at that point, they just put him down to the unranked. And then Grant Dotson just recently lost to Manuel Torres, who's now number 13, 14, around that. But I think with this fight, it's the after these two fights, if he wins, I think he definitely should get a rankings. Which he finished the fight in under a round, so I think it would be a good enough timeline to get one of those fights coming up. Same with Grant Dawson and Ignacio. I think Ignacio is about to be like almost a year. Honestly, I think I forgot where it was. It was like Quebec. Oh, Qatar. Actually, I don't know, but it was somewhere where he was fighting Fiziev and he lost. But it's been almost like low key a year since he fought. So I think since Quillen took almost no damage, I think it would be a fair timeline for either of these two fighters to try to get back up to the rankings with winning against Quillen or losing, which helps Quillen get basically damn near the top 15 at that point. I feel like if he beats any of these, he basically should be in the rankings or fight for the rankings at that point, since both of these fighters were at the rankings at some point. Um, but again, if you really wanted to, you could probably like put him against BST, Michael Chandler, Fiziev, one of those three. I don't think any of the new UFC rankings, like the top 15, because they just beat like Grant Dawson and Ignacio to be at the 15, 14 spot. So I don't think they deserve to fight for the unranked for unranking fighters when they were just unranked fighter for ranked. But yeah, um, those two fighters, I think it's pretty fair. Pretty favorable matchups. I think with his grappling, he showed that he can submit, grapple people. He's comfortable in the grappling, so someone like Grant Dawson isn't gonna scare him. Like with his grappling, Grant Dawson just got knocked out, so that should give Quillen more confidence to even for more of the ground because he knows he could probably stuff them and knock him out. And then for I think the harder fight would be Ignacio because how tall, lanky he is. But I think at the same time, I think he still beats him in my opinion. Because someone like Fiziev, whose technique and also Quillen is more technique, not the same way, but they have a lot of technique in their fighting style. I think Quillen would be able to win him. I don't think a KO, but I definitely think with a 29-28 decision. On to the next guy. Talishin Teixeira. Now, honestly, if I had a choice, both of these fighters should just like retire already. I think if you saw my Instagram post, I'm gonna start linking my Instagram. But actually, you guys probably didn't see it. But either though that fight was treacherous, dog shit. Like though, oh my god, I don't know how these guys could be UFC top tier fighters. Like the best of the best fighting the best of the best. That was shameful, terrible. Um, both of them didn't look either good, in my opinion. I think both of them should just retire. But talent, talented Share is not even 30. How the fuck is he? How the fuck is he this like that tired in round three for something he's been working on, and he's that tired breathing that heavy. Like if you see him in round three, that's how he was moving. Like bro is nah, he's not winning. But actually no, I gave him a matchup, but I think no bullshit, no trolling, on my life, on my life. I think Marcin Tybura out grapples him, lays on him. In my opinion, I think Talashin Teixeira is overrated, especially with the Tai Tuivasa fight now. But I think someone like Marcin Tybura, who who lost to Tom Aspinall's friend with a knockout. Um, but I think he's good enough for someone like Talashin Teixeira, who can't even knock out Tai Tuivasa, who's not that hard to knock out. I don't think he doesn't have that much technique to the point where you can't really hit him in the face. But I think Marcin Tybura can lay and prey on him. In my opinion, I don't think it would be that difficult for someone like Talented Teixeira. And then even then, I think even if he out it's like the same thing. I think Marcin Tybura has, it's not that much impressive in the heavyweight division, but decent cardio in that division enough to point like if Talented Teixeira was tired, I don't think Marcin Tybura would be tired in my opinion. But either way, I think honestly both of these fighters aren't even that good. I'm just giving him Talented Teixeira because that's the only favorable matchup in my opinion. I think maybe Shamil Gaziev could be a next fight. They're basically right now. I think Tai Tuivasa was 11 and he's number 10. So I'm not sure, or it could be a little bit lower in my opinion. But I couldn't find anyone in the Talented Teixeira to because he doesn't deserve anyone in the definitely not in the top five. Definitely not someone in top nine. Like 9 and up, I think they all beat him in my opinion. I don't even know who's 9 and up, but I know they just beat him. But yeah, I think this is the best matchup he's gonna get, and then the rest of the matchups he's just gonna lose, in my opinion. That's just I think that's the fairest take you could give on someone like Talashin Teixeira after his performance last fight. So yeah, let's just get on to the next guy. And this time we're doing the losers, cause at least the losers are easier to do. This might be a controversial statement. This might this might rile some feathers. Bro, just retire. Just retire, bro. You got it. You got it. You made your money. You made your bag. Go do something else. You're not made for this business anymore. Respectfully, 5 years ago, Tai Tuivasa would actually destroy Talented Teixeira, in my opinion. This Tuivasa is not beating anyone. I don't think he's beating anyone. I think with the cardio, I thought he was gonna do better at, since he had the 1 year layoff. I thought bro started with the the little fucking sweatsuit he was wearing, losing the weight. I thought bro would like have a cardio adjustment in those rounds, but it just looked like shit. It didn't even look any better. It looked like a normal timeline UFC fighter, like where they fought 3 months ago and then 3 months later they're fighting, or 4 months. That's what it looked like. That 1 year layoff didn't even look like it did anything. So I don't know. You just gotta retire at that point. He's already, I think, late 30s. He's not gonna get any younger. He he's gonna get outworked by, at this point, every single heavyweight. The only person unironically he could beat is Derek Lewis. They could have a rematch. I'm not even trying to joke around. I'm not even trying to troll. But I think even Derek Lewis beats him, in my opinion. And he looks even shittier. But I think I don't think Tai Tuivasa is gonna beat Derek Lewis. Honestly, I think they just like might out cardio each other for the win. I think it might be like a Dricus versus fuck, I forgot the guy's name. I forgot his name, but when Dricus out hustled the guy on the bottom and he fucking died from exhaustion and their corner had to throw in the towel. I think that's what it would look like if Tuivasa and Derek Lewis fought again. But if he's not fighting for Derek Lewis, you just gotta retire. I'm sorry. It's just not worth it for his health, not worth it for his mentality. I think he should have retired right then and there, in my opinion. But it's his life, his rules. I think if he's doing another fight, I think that would be his last one. I think he should have done it in Australia with the biggest crowd, with the biggest draw. Because now in any other crowd, I don't think it's gonna work unless there's a Sydney card, which I think that would be his last one, which is really kind of sad because it's not a main event. I know people love him. I loved him. His highlights when he was in that four fight winning streak, but you can't do anything anymore. Unfortunately, the game's too far gone. He took a lot of time off. Even then, that didn't work. And when that doesn't work, at that point, you're just washed. You're washed, kid. You're washed. Unfortunately, but long live Tuivasa, a living legend. On to the next guy. Rafael Fiziev. I don't. Yeah, bro. I don't know why he's looking at me like I'm the one who knocked him out. But I got two people. Now I don't think he did bad against Rufi. He was doing pretty decent against the first two rounds until he got the knockout. But at the same time, Rufi was kind of getting the better hands on the late round one and probably the later rounds of round two. That's what it looked like it was gonna be again. So I got two fighters. I got oh shit, my bad. I got Brian Ortega actually. I was thinking of Dan Hooker. Sorry, but I think Brian Ortega. I think Fiziev is gonna be lower than Moicano, and Brian Ortega said he doesn't need surgery for anything, so he's just gonna be out for probably a couple weeks. And I think around that time, they could set up Fiziev versus Ortega around the White House. I think that's June, July. Could do that around that time, not at the White House, but like just around that timeline. They could make this fight happen. He doesn't deserve to fight Moicano after pulling out, and I think Fiziev is gonna be lower than Moicano since Moicano isn't fighting, and Fiziev is, and he lost to the number 13 guy. So at that point, he is just gonna fight someone lower in division or someone unranked. In this case, I think Brian Ortega. Honestly, I think Brian Ortega loses. I think this would be like a Fiziev get back fight where he beats him, outclasses him. I don't think Brian Ortega at this point in his career really showed anything. I think the Moicano fight would have been the easy fight to take, just because I think he's good enough for someone as washed as he is, or just had to be lucky. Fiziev isn't. I wouldn't say washed because he was making competitive with Rufi, and he does have takedown defense. My bad, but someone like Brian Ortega, I don't think is good enough to take him down, to submit him, to knock him out. I don't think he has any of that anymore, obviously. And Moicano was the fight to make, was the best chance scenario, honestly, and like in the lightweight division to have an opportunity to make it at least in the rankings. But since he pulled out, he's cooked. I think anyone else in the division kind of beats him, honestly, if sad to say. But nothing you can do more. Now on to the winner, Rufi. I got two. This one I got two people with. I got the loser of Holloway versus Oliveira 2, or if the UFC really want to push him, is Paddy Pimblett. Honestly, I think the Paddy Pimblett might happen more than the loser of Oliveira versus Holloway. Just because, in my opinion, I think it would be too much of a layoff for Rufi for him to wait that long. In my opinion, I don't think he would want to wait that long. So I think someone like a Paddy Pimblett who may come around, also the White House ish. I think around that time, he would want to come back a little like a month after the White House. In my opinion, maybe a London card. If they do, I think sometimes they do that around that time. I could just be. I just lied. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if they do that, but just, like around that timeline, summertime. If Rufi's willing to wait, because I think honestly, if Oliveira, I think they'll fight late into the year, like October, November. That's their next fight after. I'm not gonna lie, but I think the loser of Oliveira versus Holloway, and I think honestly, the favorable matchup for Rufi would be Paddy Pimblett, just because of how bad his takedown offense is. Where Rufi's takedown defense is decent enough where he could get up from someone like BSD, but can't just can't do it consistently. Whereas Justin Gagey, I mean not Justin Gagey, Paddy Pimblett is kind of bad in the striking, but as soon as he gets you down, he has good enough striking to set down to set the takedowns and make it better for him on the ground. So it's really a mismatch for both of them. I think, in my opinion, one is really bad at striking and bad at takedown offense, bringing you to the ground, and the other one is bad at takedown like the ground game and kind of takedown defense, where he gets a lot, he gets on the ground a decent amount of times. It showed on the Contender Series where he was down 2-0. So yeah, I think the most favorable matchup would be Paddy Pimblett. I would be pushing for a Paddy Pimblett fight because that would be the easier fight in my opinion to win, which the UFC might oblige just because both of them are really marketable, really good, really entertaining, especially for the last fights. Both, one had a knockout, one had an extreme good five rounder. But I think Max Holloway or Oliveira would easily beat Rufy in my opinion. I think Rufy could honestly. Okay, I don't think he beats them, but I think he has a KO. He has the most against both of them, a better chance of a KO in my opinion. But yeah, a KO chance against one of those two just because both of them showed they're not chinny. They lost. they fuck except Oliveira, but they got knocked out by Ilya Taporia. I wouldn't say a chinny. They're chinny because they got knocked out to one of the hardest hitters in the UFC right now. But he could Rufy is good at catching people, so I could see him catching both of them. But Holloway would be harder to catch. But I think Oliveira, with the way he tries to do stuff, I think it would be easier. But at the same time, Oliveira's taking you down easy, easy. That's easy money by Oliveira if he doesn't try to stand with Rufy. Holloway, I think, is also easy. I think he is good enough striking defense to the point where he's not gonna get hit, and he's gonna hit way more than Rufy because Rufy likes to stand a lot, likes to be more calculated. But by that time, you're already got a one punch. Holloway already got 20 punches on you. These are the only fights that Rufy could get. And honestly, I would push for the Paddy Pimblett fight just because that's the easier matchup in my opinion than Oliveira versus Holloway, which is more of a puncher's chance, which I wouldn't give. On to the next guy, the lose. Oh my bad. The winner. The what? Jesus Christ. The loser of Dan Hooker versus BSD. This one I got two. I got. My bad. My bad. These two people just made it into the rankings. One beating Grant Dawson, and one I'm pretty sure also beat unranked and got to the number 15. But either way, they're both in a really good I don't know why I'm blanking. Really good streaks. Manuel Torres just beat Grant Dawson, who was I think on a 3-fight winning streak. So I think Manuel Torres honestly does deserve it. But at the same time, I don't know how long they do want to wait for someone like Dan Hooker because Dan Hooker does need. If it's coming out blurry for you guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why. It came out way clearer on when I fucking downloaded it. But either way, I think Dan Hooker does need a chill on the activity. You know, as much as we love someone active, we at the same time we can't see you losing every time. We can't see a Kevin Holland type run. Lose one, win one, lose two, win one, lose three. Like we can't see that. So I think Dan Hooker would Loki has to take the end of summer in my opinion. That's a good enough like wait time between because he honestly just come back the middle of the year, and then hopefully one of these fighters fight one more time and then they fight you. I think that would be the best chance because I think he's gonna be top 11, 10, 11, 11, 10, maybe a little bit down. But I don't think either of these fighters are really gonna fight anyone in the top 10 rankings. Um, but yeah, this is the only fight I could really give him. Honestly, another fight I was really thinking of Quillen Salkid if he fights either of the two fighters I give him around that time. I think that would be also a good timeline because um Quillen could get the fight early, and then maybe in the middle of the year he could get the Dan Hooker fight. So one of those two, and then he would be really in the rankings then. But yeah, this is really the only chance. I feel bad for Dan Hooker. He's a really good fighter. He's a decent fighter, but he kind of reminds me of uh fuck Cerrone Cowboy and I forgot the guy. I don't know why I'm forgetting, but the guy who fights the most in the UFC, those two, where they're not great. They're not obviously championship. Jim Miller, they're not championship material, but they're good enough to beat some bums. But they're also gonna lose most of the time to like the top 15, top 5, in my opinion. And that's what Dan Hooker kind of is at this day and age. I think even the Gamrot fight you could really make a case for Gamrot winning that fight, but Obviously he won that, but lost two in a row now. So you have to fight either someone like 15, 14, or someone unranked. Especially losing like that, like you can't really make a case to fight someone like above or a little bit below. You have to fight someone really below. On to the next guy, BSD. Now, I'm not gonna lie, BSD is cooked. He is cooked. I don't think he wins any of the matchups I'm giving him next. Now, before you guys say anything, yes, I know I just gave Rufy this, but this is different. I think I think the winner of Holloway versus Oliveira is the fight against BSD. In my opinion, I think it would be easier. I think a better fight would be matchup would be Oliveira versus BSD for BSD's sake. I think they have decent grappling. Um, they have actually no, they have amazing grappling. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, Oliveira's ground game, BJJ is really amazing, and same with BSD's ground game. So really, that would be honestly a fun fight to watch how their ground game works. I could see like Armin versus Oliveira. Obviously not the same way, but I think I could see a really good ground game fight between those two. But I think if Holloway wins and he gets to fight against BSC, I think BSC loses badly. Honestly, I don't see him winning. Holloway has a really good takedown defense. The only people who are able to take him down is Ilya Taporia and Volkanovski consistently. And the way BSC likes to go down, I don't think, in my opinion, would work against Jesus Christ, Armin Sharukian. He looking like a ghost. This is his normal picture. I don't know why he looks like he lost. This is like his weight. The weigh-ins. I don't know why he looks so dead, but yeah. I think if Holloway wins and he fights BSC, I think BSC loses badly, like a TKO or like a 50-42. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think BSC has a chance against someone like Holloway. But and same thing with Armin Sarukian. I think Armin Sarukian beats it badly. It would be a good fight on the ground, but I think Armin Sarukian has a way better offensively offense ground game, like initiating the takedowns. He's way better doing that than BSC. BSC is really easy to tell when you're trying to go for a takedown. The same thing for the striking. I think striking Armin Sarukian is 10 times better than BSD. BSD is literally like the Walmart version of Armin Sarukian, and Armin Sarukian is already the Walmart version of Islam Makhachev. So already BSD is already at a really bad disadvantage for this fight. For but these are the only fights I can really give him because it's only fair, honestly. Uh, I would say Patty, but I don't know. That would be a good fight, honestly. But I think the way Patty lost was kind of bad, so I think he might take more time off. But I think it would be easier for I think honestly I could see BSC get in an Armin fight just because Armin wants needs one more fight at least. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he does need one more fight to get the title. So I think getting a BSD fight is the easier path to victory than Armin waiting for Holloway versus Oliveira. In my opinion, I think that'd be a. I think he wins all three of these Armin, but I think BSD he should accept the BSD fight because that's the easiest way to get a title off him. But yeah, I think BSD these two fights, the winner of Oliveira versus Holloway and Armin Sarukian. I think Armin Sarukian is a honestly most likely chance if enough time happens. On to the next fight. Diego Lopez lost unfortunately. Honestly, again, like I said in the last video, if you look at the first fight and the second fight, they literally look the same exact fight. Like they look no different. Nothing to improve in my opinion. Nothing. It literally looks just like I'm literally watching them side by side. They're practically the same fight. They they have moments. They just happen in different times. Literally that the only difference. They have the same amount of moments. They just happen at different rounds at different minutes. Literally the only difference. So Diego Lopez, I got two fights. Honestly, I think both of them he wins. Yair versus Yair versus Diego, and then Yair versus Aljamain. I think both of them he wins. I think Aljamain, um, striking and he's 50-45 in Brian Ortega in the striking, so it's not that impressive honestly. And Yair Rodriguez took like not barely, but like unimpressively beat Patricio Pitbull. So I think Diego Lopez, who beat Gene Silva after like losing a lot in the second round, but doing a lot in the first round, I think beats Aljamain Sterling with the striking and the ground game wrestling. Same thing with Yair Rodriguez. I think it's the same thing. I think he does TKO Aljamain, but I don't think he would do it against. I think he could submit Yair. I think one of those submissions he usually tries to get with his expression face. I think he does get that against Yair, but I think someone like Aljamain, I don't think he would be. I don't think he would submit him, but I could see a TKO from him. Really bad ground and pound or just striking. I think like 50-45 and someone offensively against Brian Ortega for me in 2025 is not that impressive. So I think Diego Lopez does beat either of them. There's no one else in the rankings below him that he should fight. Honestly, he just fought for the belt, and he had to fight number. I think Gene Silva was like 11, 10. So there was no reason to fight like 15, 14 again. That would be kind of dumb. Yeah, years the money fight, and then maybe even after that, Aljamain Sterling if he doesn't fight. If I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like you know that meme where it's like the dude that no one invited. That's Aljamain Sterling when he's asking for a title shot against Brian Ortega. Like no one invited you. Like people like Aljamain Sterling. No. At the time, it was Diego Lopez, Mosvar, Lerone, and I think maybe someone else. And then all of a sudden, Aljamain Sterling's like, "Yo, I deserve the title too." Who are you? Who are you? Who you beat Brian Ortega after Diego Lopez beat him more better than you did. So who are you to ask for a title shot after that? And it was boring. Like, bro, come on, bro. Come on, man. Get out of here, bro. But yeah, these two fights is easy fights for, in my opinion, Diego Lopez. If he could, I think he needs 3 fights to ask for a trilogy, and I think that's too long. I don't think he would. I think he would get a title shot, but I don't think it's against Volk. I think at that point Volk would be retired by his 3rd title shot. Hopefully he wins. Both of them are both undeserving. So I think Diego would definitely take either of these. I think Yair against Noche UFC, maybe somewhere around Mexico, or Aljamain. Low-key, I can see Aljamain and them versus in the White House. I know. Actually, he didn't break his foot, but it did fracture. So I don't know. I don't know how long that would take. But either way, I think one of those 2 fights should happen. Most likely that year versus Diego Lopez is most likely to happen, just because how I think both of them are injured and the timeline would match up given the circumstances they're both at. But hopefully happens. Knowing the UFC, they're gonna give Diego Lopez a 3rd title shot, give him the Sean O'Malley treatment, and praying that he beats Volk the 3rd time. But let's get on to the next guy, Volk, and cutting the bullshit. No beating around the bush. The winner against most Vargas is Lerone. Let's just not. Let's not troll. Gene Silva's not getting it. You're not. Aljamain's not getting it. Yair's not getting it. Patchy Mix isn't getting it. Mario Batista. No one. They're not getting it. They're not even in the same weight class, but they're not getting it. The winner of this deserves to fight Volkanovski. We're not playing with this shit. Volkanovski. He could fight arguably 3 times in a year. He fought this year. He could fight around June, July. I think usually they have 2 main cards around that time, and then he could fight at the end of the year, if he get the June, July card, and then boom, that's 3 fights in a year. He can get that. He can get that. He can wait. This is only like the I think, Jesus Christ, my bad. The end of March, so April, May, June, July. So that's 3-4 months. That's 3-4 months of Evlov and Lerone Murphy, and then like 5 months. I know it's a long time, but at the same time, he could squeeze out another one if he really wants to. If he doesn't take too much damage against Sisu, I just don't. I don't want to see Gene Silva get the title shot. I don't, bro. If you're able to knock out Aaron Pico, the motherfucker who was hyped up, saying if he beats Lerone Murphy, he's gonna get a title shot. If you can't get a title shot off that, no way. Losing to Diego Lopez and then barely beating Arnold Allen gets you a fucking title shot. No, it did. No, no, no. This is not about popularity. It's about rankings. This is how the UFC always should have been. I don't know why they're doing it against popularity now. No, it's now the rankings. Do the rankings. Number one, I think Lerone Murph. Jesus Christ, Murph. I think Murphy's like 5, and then Ivlov is number 1 or 2. Do that. Whoever wins this fights Volkanovski. Volkanovski wants this fight. He wanted the fight last year, and y'all didn't give it to him. I don't know. Like, what more? You not? Lerone should have got it because Ivlov didn't take off the. He had to get off the Aaron Pico fight, and then Lerone took it on short notice. He knocked him out in the first round. How could you taking a fight on short notice that the number 1 contender was supposed to fight, and now you're the number 5 taking Aaron Pico, who people say might beat you, who might get the title shot, I've beaten you. You knock him out in the first round, stiff out cold. One of the most impressive highlight KOs in that in that year, basically, in my opinion. And you don't get a title. Like, come on, bro. Gene Silva's not getting that. No, we're not doing this. We're not. If I already said it, but please, 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 let's not do this. Let's not play around. Let's be a real UFC. Let's not play WWE. Let's be real. Let's actually make the rankings matter. Like, please. If the rankings mattered right now, Armin would have already been the interim challenger. So please, let's just get this. Let's get the fight. Then when Gene Silva beats, maybe again, I think the last fight I put Yair and maybe Aljamain, one of those two. If Diego Lopez is fighting one of those two, I think Aljamain could fight Aljamain if Diego's fighting Yair, or the opposite. Yair could fight Gene Silva, and then Diego could fight Aljamain. And then after Diego, Gene Silva beats maybe one of those two, then he could fight for the title. And then he earned my respect. Yes, he earned my Master of All Things respect to get the title. But no, not right now. He doesn't have my respect. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't. No, 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 no. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's done. It's final. We are not accepting this, bro. Just make it right. Please make it right. I'm begging you. I better not see like April, May. I see Volkanovski versus Gene. So I'm dead ass ending my. Oh, I can't say that. But we're gonna win. We are gonna win. We the UFC fans are gonna win with this, because the winner of this is gonna fight Volkanovski for his next fight. I think after that he might have one more or retire as champion. I think, because Gene Silva, I think, has the best chance because he does catch people. He does have an Ilya type knockout power against Volkanovski, and if he's getting caught against Diego Lopez, then yes. But he does not deserve it. If he would beat Diego Lopez, then yes, I could understand him fighting Volkanovski last month, or last Sunday. But no, he can't. He won't. I won't let it. So yeah. That's it. These are the main next fighters cards. Let me know what you guys think. I started an Instagram channel. I'm gonna be posting more of that. Again, I might do a new video that's not MMA related. I know I said that like the first couple of videos, and then I just never did it. But the UFC's doing like back to back week of UFC cards. I know that between the Mario Batista versus Oliveira, and then the Sean Strickland versus Alexander Hernandez. I don't even know. Fluffy Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez. There you go. Anthony Hernandez. I think there's a 2-week break between those, or a week break between that. So I think I may make a non-related UFC video. If you hear my dog barking, no, you don't. You're lying. You're actually hearing things. But yeah, I'm gonna start making maybe around that, between that week, I'm gonna do non-related, non-MMA related videos. I'll see. Maybe music. I think music or video games is really the videos I do want to make. Um, I was thinking of manga, anime. I know that's kind of nerdy, but those videos do kind of intrigue me to make me more like excited to talk about those. Not that these don't, but it's feel like everyone talks about the same thing. Like, this video isn't new. Like 20,000 people probably already made the same video. The same people. the same. I'm trying to do everything, but trying to make it my own thing. But I think sticking to MMA is kind of hard to do. It's hard and easy because everyone likes to see someone else's opinion, but at the same time, you're gonna get the same opinion some of the times. Like you might like Kenny okay, Kenny. I don't know why I can't say his name. I apologize, but he gets a lot of views because of his shitty ass takes. Same thing with Lucas Tracy. Like they're terrible with their takes, but I think their personality is also good enough to the point where like their shitty takes and their personality combines them into a good YouTube channel. Even if you think Kenny's or Lucas takes are good, they're all right. It's just that like their hot takes are definitely like the hot takes. Like they're like I know when people say hot takes is like oh my hot take Kamaru Usman is top. Like their hot take is like fuck like Peter before Peter Yan beat Murat. Peter Yan's top 10. Like bro, be for real. Either way, yeah, I think during that break, that 1 week break, I'm gonna do a little non MMA related. I'll see what I could do, see what I could do up. If you're already up to this point, let me know. Me again, like I said, I was uh thinking about doing more music or video game related. But if you do want to see anime or manga, I could definitely look into that. Honestly, that's something I do want to get into in the future. Not sure when. But either way, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, fuck guys.